Hello! Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I love that music, Dallas. Do you
That
love
music, it gets me pumped up and just ready to just rock and just get ready for some Warmachine.
Just makes me want to headbutt things. That's really what it is.
Headbutt the game.
But hello, everyone. We have a game to commentate on for you instead of being ridiculous. My name is Will Pagani.
Column A, column B.
The development assistant at Privateer Press. This is my boy, Dallas Camp here.
Hello.
Or, I'm sorry, I'm Phil Wagani.
And I'm Callous Dimp.
Callous Dimp. That one sounds a little weird.
It's not right.
We shouldn't go for that one. But yeah, so we are at Warmachine Weekend 2017 here in St. Louis. It is beautiful outside, and by that, I mean I haven't actually gone outside today, but that's just what people say at sporting events.
Yes.
So this kind of counts to me.
We're inside the outside.
We are. We are commentating today on the finals of the Champions event here at Warmachine Weekend. This is an Iron Gauntlet qualifier. Very exciting stuff. We have two players, because that's how Warmachine is played, Jay Larson and Charles Song.
Yep.
There they are. They're beautiful. Look at both of them.
With some Grimkin versus Mercenaries.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Today we're going to be playing the Pit 2, which for those of you that follow at home for the Will Pagani naming method of scenarios, this is Champion Belt.
Champion Belt?
Yes.
Oh, I get it.
Because it looks like a Champion Belt.
Yeah.
Yep. So this one here, we got a central zone in the middle for units scoring that one, the circle zone there. And then we have two of the rectangle zones, one on either side. Those are scored by Warjacks, Warbeasts, battle engines, and of course Warcasters can claim any of these zones.
Excellent.
We've also got objectives for each of the players. We will get to those with their lists. So first up, let's talk about some Grimkin here.
Talk about that Grimkin list by Mr. Jay Larson.
Yes.
Excellent.
Or if we're going with our normal naming conventions, Lay Jarson.
Lay Jarson.
Yes.
Ladies and
Jarsons?
Jadies and Lentilmen.
Brilliant. So Jay will be playing Grimkin here. He is playing the Heretic. He's got the same list from last round if you were paying attention and hanging out with us. It is 2 Cage Raiders, 2 Skin and Bones, a Rattler, a Gorehound, 2 Frightmares, 2 Krabbits, not 2 sets of Krabbits, just 2 Krabbits, a Death Knell, and 4 Gremlin Swarms.
That's a lot of Gremlin Swarms.
It is a lot. It is a lot. It's a very aggressive list. It punches real hard. These heavies do a lot of damage on the table, and they are quite durable with the Death Knell behind them.
Sure.
Especially if you can get corpses, which is not particularly hard for his list to do. He didn't bring too many of his own, but he does like to take them from his opponents.
Just get them from all of those opponents' models.
You want to go through this Magnus the Warlord list here?
Yeah, let's look at it. We got Magnus the Warlord, and he's got a big battle group here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Nomads, a Freebooter, a Buccaneer, Eris Hutchuck. Oh, I got to scroll down.
Yep.
There we go. Ragman, Orin Midwinter, Anastasia Debray, Lady Aeona and Master Holt, 2 units of the Horgenhold Artillery Corps.
These guys are adorable, by the way.
I love those models.
Little cannons.
Just
and the little stumpy
tin
dwarves.
Cans.
And
2 units of Kazi Eliminators. Not adorable, but deadly.
Very deadly. Very, very deadly. So it looks like our game is actually already underway here.
When you have 5 Nomads, that's a lot of...
That's a lot of beef.
It's a lot of beef.
It's a lot of beef. And, I mean, Nomads are pretty strong, right? Like, they're Mat 6, which is respectable. And then I believe they're POW 18 in combat, which is very good.
Yep.
Like, that's a very respectable heavy Warjack clocking in at 11
Yeah, not bad.
points.
They got the armor 18, but they also got a shield, so it bumps up to 19. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's almost Kador level there, so pretty durable.
Quite durable, yes. And because of the Theme Force of regulars here, a lot of them got advanced move there. So they're moving up the board very quick.
That's what he's doing right now there, I see.
Yes. Charles is our first player here. I believe he had supply cash for his objective. And I believe Jay had also supply cash, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Jay has the Shadow.
What's supply cash do for him?
It allows you to repair your models when they are damaged.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That makes both these lists very, very meaty.
Very durable.
I love it.
You can put systems back on the Nomads if they do lose any of them. The Grimkin, they can consume corpses to heal on Skin and Bones. They can then get additional healing from their supply cache. So there's just a lot of healing going on.
Is this just going to be an attrition game? Like just a big meat grinder here in the middle?
I do think so, yes. I think this is going to turn into a slugfest. Much like our last game, which went down to a combined...
slobber knocker, one would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The total time on the clocks after last game, after someone clocked out, I believe was 38 seconds.
Yeah, it came down to the wire.
That was a crazy game. absolutely insane.
Look how aggressive this play is. Like, he's all up in this middle of the board already.
So Charles here has been winning a lot of his games on scenario with Magnus 2's Feat's kill box, which is
That's classic. That's classic.
Ooh, oh yeah, this is a Mark 1 feat back here.
That's a classic maneuver.
And it's a very classic, Dallas.
It's
very
classic.
Yes.
That's classic Magnus.
Yeah, so what it does is if you start your activation inside of his control area, he gets to pick 2 of the different board edges, and you cannot advance towards those board edges. So he can really score some points and then use his feat to keep you out of the zone to score additional points on his turn. He can be very aggressive with the scenario, and this is what you're going to see here. These 5 nomads running down the middle. I'm guessing he's going to try and skew Magnus over to that side, the south side of the table here, and really take that zone. Just to kind of show what we're talking about here. He's skewed almost his entire army to the south side of this line right here. So he's kind of giving away this zone. He doesn't want to have to kill this objective. He wants to be able to score very early. So he's going to give away that north zone. He's just going to have a couple little solos that can run in there to contest. Maybe Iris will head up there. She's not going to be doing a whole lot this game. There's not a lot of infantry models to kill or anything. There's no warjacks to disrupt.
Well, I mean, even Jay's army is deployed primarily on the south side of the board even.
Yes, well, Jay's army doesn't have a lot of Pathfinder in it, so this forest,
is blocking.
Kind of determines he can't really go this way. But if you do look, there's the Gorehound right here.
Yep.
So that's the one guy with Ghostly. He's going to be heading this way for sure. That guy's going to be really great at clearing out that north zone for Jay. So maybe he'll be able to score some stuff here.
What did Charles put there?
This right here.
Is that just a nomad?
I don't know. Let's head it back to the swappers here, and they can let us see it. Yep, that looks like another nomad.
Nomad hiding behind the trees, waiting for a Gorehound to show up so he can pummel him to death with his POW 18 battle blade.
So Charles has put 5 of his heavies on the south side here. I'm going to guess nobody's really ever going to score the center zone. There's not too many units here.
Nothing's going to happen there. Nothing but death.
Oh, I thought there was something coming after the death.
No, it's just death.
I mean, I guess the sentence was nothing but
what
death.
What comes after that?
I mean, that is the question.
It's kind of the final straw.
The final countdown,
The final countdown, one would say. The end of things. The stoppage of time in the beginning of entropy.
What does stop the heat death of the galaxy, Dallas?
What entropy?
The entropy stops it? Okay. All right, so I want to see how Jay's going to advance here. Charles is being incredibly aggressive with these models, right? He's at the midline with his freebooter. The nomads are right on its heels. Jay's army is certainly designed to sort of take a charge here, right? He's got a bunch of gremlin swarms, which Charles doesn't have a great way to deal with. He does have Iana, so he can give out some magical weapons, but he doesn't have a lot of models that can deal with, say, 4 gremlin swarms.
Yeah, I'd be scared of all those gremlin swarms if I had that many jacks on the table.
Absolutely, especially without a great way to deal with them. He's got Orin for Chain Lightning. That's possible.
That's pretty good.
That could help out. He could shoot his own models with Chain Lightning, arc it into the gremlin swarms. But with the Death Knell, they are armor, I believe, 14. I think they're 12 base, which means that POW 10 Chain Lightning, you've really got to boost that damage.
And how many boxes do those have?
5 boxes.
5 boxes? I mean, Khazi Eliminators with magic weapons, you could dole out. Those 2 Khazi Eliminators could really take care of gremlin swarms as well.
True. If he spreads them out, though, they won't have their gang. They'll be mat 7. Annoyance will put them down to 6.
That's true.
It's going to be stretched a little thin, I think, here. It's I don't think it's impossible for him to deal with these things, but it's certainly going to hurt a little bit. But you can use those gremlin swarms to block landing zones for these nomads, so they can't really get on your heavies. And even if you used something, well, I guess the eliminators have sidestep, so they could kill a gremlin swarm and then get out of the way. So that would be pretty good. But if you do end up with magic weapons on one of your heavies, use him to take out the gremlin swarms. He's then in the way of the next heavy.
Yeah, he's just there.
It can be difficult to deal with. Looks like we're channeling some spells here.
What do you think he's casting?
Oh man, did he gallows that guy on turn 1?
That's amazing.
Was that the proxy base? I'm over here talking about gremlin swarm tactics, and we're getting some action.
I know, we're like gremlin swarms, and there's hot action going on this table.
Got some more proxy bases coming out.
I feel like I need a little story to this scenario. Where's my sea cat?
I know. We lost him in the ocean.
Lost him.
he's be the sea cat you want.
That was the first time I've ever experienced something like that, and it was awkward.
What? I don't think they can hear that.
Oh, that's true. I know.
Dallas, Tony
just communicated
to us from beyond. That's what happens after you die. You become Tony.
Tony talks to you.
Oh. Now we all know. All right, so we got our Gorehound rotating
Dallas,
north.
that death was perfect. One more time.
We've got our Gorehound rotating north up here with the Gremlin Swarm. That's probably going to hold down that north zone. I'm going to guess it's going to be pretty difficult. It's going to be pretty difficult to do. Yeah, so that does look like we hit the 6 on the Gallows, right? Like, Gallows is one of those spells that is highly variable.
I love that spell, though.
I do, too. And the Heretic really was sort of the first thing that made me fall in love with Gallows. I played it a lot on Kruger, too, but because I just had TK, like, I didn't use Gallows all that much.
Right.
But the Heretic here with Gallows, I mean, as you can see here, right, like, this Nomad is so incredibly out of position now. And how often in games of Warmachine do you see a heavy charge out of its own deployment zone on the bottom of turn 1 and kill an enemy heavy? Right, like that's just completely unheard of in games of Warmachine.
Rare.
And if Jay can kill this Nomad, that is going to put an obscene amount of scenario pressure on that north zone.
I would say we're witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime event.
I mean, I don't know about a lifetime event, but probably several years. Probably several years. So this is exciting to me because like this is just really cool. And I think it's really only possible because you rolled that 6 on that highly variable Gallows, right? So it's, I mean,
sometimes things just pay off and work in your favor. And right now, this is definitely working out in Jay's favor. He's just going to pull that Nomad in. He's going to probably destroy it, right? Yep. Don't you think?
That Skin and Bones, I'm pretty sure it got Furied.
Yep.
So it should have no problem killing this guy. And this is something that we talked about yesterday. Not you and I, obviously, because this is our first time commentating together. But it's a very low risk play for Jay, right? Like if he does this and it doesn't work out, he only pulls it 1 or 2 inches. Like whatever, you did some damage to a Nomad. Maybe you pulled it out of control area. Doesn't matter, right? But the fact that he did roll that 6, he gets a free heavy out of it.
Gets a free heavy right out the gate.
That's awesome.
Takes not control of the zone, but he definitely opens that zone up.
Oh, I mean
later in the game.
I mean, if we go to the overhead view here, we can start talking about how this game's going to go, right? So this here, hey, instead of switching it into the like stay tuned screen, I just didn't turn on the telestrator here. So this is the core of Charles's army, right?
Right.
It's in this area. There's a couple models over here, right? But these are like some little solos and stuff. There's some eliminators. I think this is Iris right here at the top.
I believe that's Iris.
But even if it's whatever it is, it doesn't really matter because those 3 models are not going to hold this zone against the Grimkin army, right? Like this Skin and Bones can threaten into here. This Gorehound can probably get, if not all the way into the zone, very, very close.
He's got the Gremlin Swarm up there as well, next to there.
Yeah, he's got the Gremlin Swarm, so if a Jack does start coming this way, this Gremlin Swarm can start moving down. It can also manage this Gorehound's Fury.
And honestly, those are probably not super essential to Jay's overall plan, so having those hanging out in that northern zone while he focuses on the center and south.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not it's not really draining his resources all that much.
If the entirety of Jay's resources that he has to commit to the zone is this 9 points, which honestly that Gremlin Storm is probably free, but if that's all that he has to commit to that zone, this is a enormous win for Jay.
Yeah.
If he can start scoring points there, that is fan-freaking-tastic. So I'm very excited about this play here. And I'm sure Charles is already feeling this, right? Because none of these guys have Pathfinder.
Because there's no Nomad.
None of this has Pathfinder, right? Like this forest is going to be a huge problem.
Once again, we're talking about tactics, and there's no Nomad.
There's 4 more.
Well, that one is gone.
that one Nomad is indeed gone. But I think this is just already putting Charles on a huge back foot here. So he also just shot up another Nomad with those 2 Frightmares there.
Oh man, Frightmares. They give me nightmares.
They are so creepy. My God.
They are disturbing in all the good ways.
My God. All right.
Is that just a run on that Rattler there?
It was a run. We got a Gremlin Swarm backing him up to take the Fury.
It's pretty good.
So I'm already really excited about Jay's play in this game. That was so beautiful.
I'm excited about these paint jobs. Like, these armies look super good on this table right now.
Yes. I really like Charles's paint schemes, which is just kind of hodgepodgey.
Yeah, but it fits the mercs,
It's
right?
perfect for mercs.
Yeah.
It's perfect for mercs. You get this neon orange and purple Nomad.
Which, look at it. It just stands out in the army. It's so great. It's
you
just
can see it immediately.
Hello, look at me. I do not have stealth.
Yes, indeed. Look at him. The beautiful
that's great.
Orange and purple backside.
But then everything else kind of ties together because he's using a lot of muted colors, a lot of greens, right?
His basing pulls it together as well.
Basing pulls it together. Everything works together, but the overall paint scheme, like, he's got this hodgepodge, like, cobbled together, Magnus, this, dude who builds warjacks and technologically intelligent dude. Just
Doug was saying that
the
Convergence wants to steal him.
Oh yes, I was on the Switch during that, listening to Doug tell stories about how the Convergence was going to steal him. And
so that could be a very interesting
him a robot.
Twist of events where they take Magnus and he builds like a soul vessel out of like scrap.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. A scrap vessel?
Really a scrap. Well, it's not a vessel that holds scrap. It's a vessel made out of scrap. It's like a scrappy soul vessel.
Oh, I like it.
A scressel.
That's a scrappy soul vessel you got there, Magnus.
Excellent.
Hey.
Excellent.
And we got Jay's army, which looks fantastic on the table, and especially because this is the new Grimkin mat.
From Fat Mats, yeah.
From Fat Mats. So now I'm just imagining the stories like this is like the power lines of Jay's house. And Magnus is all mad about the Convergence trying to take his body for robot use, and he's taking it out on these poor Grimkins in their home territory.
Sure. I mean, I feel like Grimkin don't really have territories, so
but this is like Grimkin territory. Well, not territory.
Well, but I think like
it's been corrupted.
Yeah, the world just shapes around the heretic as he wanders about the world. So like this could be anywhere.
Holding his face up.
For everyone
to see.
I
am a reflection of you.
Yes, the inner divinity of every human. It is not something for Minoth to hoard.
It's true. Those are wise words. It's kind of just a personal philosophy as well.
Oh, yeah. Life is beautiful and death is the end of everything.
That's exactly correct. We are all wicked gods.
Man, that would be a great band name. We're all wicked gods.
Wicked gods.
Wicked, wow, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so Charles is going into focus allocation here. I want to see how he's going to try and deal with this north zone. I want to see what goes on.
Now, do you think he's going to get aggressive again and push past the zones and maybe use his feet?
So I think
this is a feet turn, don't you think?
So it's only models starting in his control area.
I mean, but if he gets really aggressive, right?
Sure.
And picks his table edge.
Yeah, we got our ambushing models coming in here. We got Anastasia and Hutchuck.
There you go.
So maybe
now,
that
I watched
can
the game earlier where he did this. And those guys did really good the turn they came out.
Yes.
I like that little duo, too. Anastasia and Hutchuck.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon that I would watch. The Adventures of Anastasia and Hutchuck.
Man, we should do, like, comic books about this.
Comic book style?
Because I think Hutchuck is fighting for the Leylee's resistance at the moment.
Anastasia and Hutchuck fighting the Leylee's cause.
Oh, man, what if Doug was here and he could tell us where Hutchuck was fighting right now? And if it was Lael, we could get... We're going to make this happen.
I mean, we could just...
We're going to make it.
We can just tell them we just have an idea.
What's their, like... Oh, here we go. This is a Company of Iron thing just ready to happen because we got our Forge Your Company thing coming up, right?
Forge Your Company.
So if you... For those of you that don't know or haven't heard, that is a contest that we're putting on where...
Then I'm totally jealous I can't enter.
Oh, yeah, me too, man. Me too. I mean, I'm probably going to make one anyway. And just, like, post it up. Well, I mean, you've already made several. Yeah, they're beautiful.
But I'm on, like, number 4 of Company.
Yes. So the idea behind the contest is that you create a Company of Iron, and you build your own theme, your own idea behind it, your own story,
narrative,
essentially, your narrative. And you will present that on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Yep. Hashtag. Oh, my gosh, I can't remember it. Hashtag Forge Your
Company? Yeah, I think it's Forge Your Company. And you tag Privateer Press in it.
Yep.
And then based on the number of likes and shares and retweets and all that kind of stuff that you get, those will come internal. We're going to pick 3 based on the number of those things.
And then we're going to judge them.
We're going to judge them super hard.
Super hard. Because I'm sure we have some of the gnarliest judges in existence in that building.
I mean, I am pretty gnarly. And Brent is super gnarly. And that guy he's going to judge everything. But yeah, so whichever one ends up winning it all, we'll get an alternate model made. And then we've also going to be...
Now, say that one more time.
So it's going to get an alternate model, an official alternate model made.
So, like, you're saying if I take a model, like, let's come up with a protector model, a protector solo. When the...
I mean, let's say the leader of your army is Vilmon.
Right?
Like, you create a narrative. But you can have your character be Vilmon, or you can have your character be something else, right?
Say I do Dark Vilmon of the, but he's like gone to Kador.
So he could be like a fallen paladin.
A fallen
that's
paladin.
lost his faith.
And then we're going to be like, if that's the winner, we're going to make Dark Vilmon model. Like, we're giving people the opportunity to make their mark on Iron Kingdom's history.
Yes. So definitely get out there. Check that out at privateerpress.com. They'll have all the full rules there, all the full prize stuff going on there. I believe you've got till December 1st.
December 1st,
to put in your stuff. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth checking.
This all came about because of Anastasia and Hutchuck and how I won a Saturday morning cartoon.
That's what I'm saying. And you could do something kind of silly like that too, right? Like if you made like the Hutchuck Anastasia Company of Iron list, and then they have like their sidekicks with them, or like their support crew.
Their sidekicks and they're like friends, and then I'm going to paint them all in like cell shade style, so it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon.
That would be sweet. Yeah, and then you give us the crime-fighting story of their first adventure together or something as your narrative behind it all. And that would be a great entry into this contest.
Anastasia and Hutchuck fighting crime in Lale. Cause they're best friends every day, throwing grenades and knives.
What about knife grenades?
Knife grenades. Oh my gosh, have we made that a weapon? It would have
I'm going to pitch it for Golden Crucible.
What?
I'm going to pitch it for Golden Crucible. It's like a throwing dagger that has like a flask of something on the end of it.
Yeah, it stabs into you, right? And it begins injecting into you.
Or it could be like a combo thing where you like throw the dagger, it sticks in him, and then you kick the end of it and it explodes.
Ooh. There's so many possibilities for knife grenades.
Yes. Okay, so we've got Iris walking up here. Back to the actual game that's going on. She walked up. Looks like she missed. Oh, no. We did some damage to that Skin and Bones with a mortar is what has happened here. Charles back into the tank.
I love those mortar models. Oh, so cool.
I love all the dwarf models, especially like the high shields. They're just so cute. They're just so cute.
And the fire dwarfs.
All right, Hutchuck's getting in there. He did a Quake Grenade, which knocked down both those targets there, and now he's charging the Gorehound.
That's pretty amazing.
The back.
So Jay should have maybe kept those two models away from the edge maybe a little bit more, or do you think that was the right move there?
I mean, I don't think he
lured
expected
in Anastasia and Hutchuck in.
I don't think this was intentional from Jay here. And I think this is, I mean, I was wondering how is Charles going to deal with this, right? Well, this is how he's going to deal with it. These two ambushing models. I don't think they'll ever really hold the zone, perhaps. But
Hutchuck's
they
pretty
will.
Beefy.
They will certainly make Jay commit far more to that
than he wanted
to, right?
Or was expecting to, because he was definitely, like we were talking, the 9 points.
Yeah.
Could have been just amazing, but obviously Anastasia and Hutchuck are the superhero team we deserve.
If that was all that he had to commit to that zone, it was a super win for him. Whereas now, he's got to commit more, right? Like that Skin and Bones probably needs to go over there. Hutchuck may end up killing that objective over a couple turns, so that could be really strong. Mortar put some damage on Skin and Bones. Incremental damage like this is not very good against Grimkin because they
just gonna heal it.
Well, they have what's it called? Sacrifice, which Jay does have. You can see his cards down there at the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
Actually, they can't because our little J tag is over it. But he has his Trump Arcana, which is called Reckoning. So if an enemy model destroys one of Jay's models, he can play Reckoning, Warrior model in his control area, and then he essentially prays that model with his entire army. And then whenever it dies, he can swap that around.
It goes in the freebooter.
Yep. Freebooter's going after the Crabbit, apparently. And then his other two Arcana are the Shadow, which Charles is very specifically not triggering at the moment.
Literally my favorite Arcana.
Shadow?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
Because I get to make a special model for it.
Yes.
Anything where I get to make a special model for, I'm like totally in.
Well, you even did an insider about making Shadow War Beasts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. My favorite model in Grimkin, coming from the chat here.
Instant Classic asked this.
Instant Classic asking, if I had to go with looks of the model, it's definitely not the Frightmare. That thing is super creepy.
No, that thing's bothersome.
For looks of the model, it might have to be Heretic. Like that guy,
Heretic?
I love that Heretic model.
Heretic is a super dope model.
I also just love the Nayslayer models. Like they're beautiful.
Super cute.
Beautiful. If I had to go with my favorite model from a gameplay perspective, It's a little harder to choose because, I don't know, there's just so many...
Everything in Grimkin's so integral to each other.
There's so many synergies and stuff between everything. I think it would have to be either Holloman or Nayslayers again. I really, really like both those. I also really love the Twilight Sisters models.
I love those models.
Incredible.
Love those models.
Incredible.
Oh, what do we do here? Is that a slam?
It looks like we're slamming him back. He's just trying to get board position, right?
Yeah.
Charles has been...
he's being very aggressive. I mean, just like from the start. Like, he's still being... I still feel he's being very aggressive here.
I think if Charles is able to charge with Magnus, because here's Magnus right here. We're going to get some telestration action. This is Magnus. That's the front of Magnus' base. If he can charge to about there, and then feet and catch this stuff, right? If he can do that, I'm not sure the exact distances here on the board, but if he can get that done, and then, of course, put stuff here, put models here and here for those heavies, those nomads, maybe even start swinging one up that way to deal with the other zone. He's at the top of turn 2 right now. It is entirely possible that at the bottom of turn 2, on Jay's turn, he'll score 2 points.
That's pretty good.
And then he scores 2 points on his own turn. He's got 4. He just has to kill Jay's objective. That is a very, very strong scenario to play.
I've always loved Magnus, like ever since Mark 1. Like I've always loved Magnus and Magnus 2. I love that feat. I think it's such a unique feat.
Would you call it classic?
I would call it classic.
You would call it a classic?
That's a classic Magnus move. I don't think it's as classic. Well, I mean, it is classic as the Popsicle Ghost Army.
I'm not familiar with the Popsicle Ghost Army.
Oh, so C-Cat was explaining that when Magnus 2, the Warlord, pops his feet, how he keeps how you narratively keep the enemy from moving a direction. It's he creates Popsicle Ghost Armies.
Oh.
They just pop up.
Oh, so it's like the shooting dummy target kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like,
and the enemy army is just like, whoa, we can't go over there. There's ghosts. This is...
Well, that makes sense.
That's straight from C-Cat.
I believe you.
So
I believe you.
Ghost. That's exactly right, JR.
So I think what's going to stop this play from Charles here is this Gremlin Swarm right here.
That one Gremlin Swarm.
Literally this one Gremlin Swarm right here, because he's going to be able... So if Charles can't get Magnus far enough forward to catch this Gremlin Swarm, it can just run into the zones right here. He scores no points.
Sure.
If he can get far enough to get this Gremlin Swarm, it can apparate backwards out of the feet and then run into the zones to get stuff. So I think it's going to be very hard for Magnus to really be able to shut this down. This Gremlin Swarm up here at the top, also very important. It can at least contest this middle zone. So, and same idea, right? Like it can apparate backwards and then run in if it starts inside the feet. So, I think Jay has the tools to combat this, but I'm not sure it's...
well, he hasn't activated Aeon and Hull yet, correct?
He has not, no. So these Gremlin Swarms might just die. We've even got an Orin Midwinter over there.
Yeah, he's got Orin Midwinter, he's got Aeon and Hull. Does Eris give a magic shot? Can she magic shoot?
I believe her crossbow is just standard magical. Yeah, we got it. Right
I couldn't remember if Deathbolt.
I think just all of them are. I'm blind.
She's right there.
Yeah, it's just magical.
Okay.
Just straight up.
So that's good.
Yes. Yeah.
So
well,
he's got more tools than we previously spoke of.
Well, Gremlin Swarms do have stealth.
Sure.
So that's gonna be much harder for Eris to deal with.
Sure.
So I think, yep, here we go. So Magnus just feeded. He's going to pick his back table edge as well as the bottom table edge there.
Sure. I mean, his table edge was the obvious choice.
Correct. Yeah, he wants to lock Jay out of these zones if he can, right? So here we go. Asian Jesus measuring stick. It
classic.
Is beautiful.
Classic.
It's a classic measuring stick.
Classic.
Absolutely.
Classic maneuver by Magnus the Warlord and Asian Jesus.
Quite, yes. And here we go. We got Orn up there. He's hanging out with some power tokens. Those are probably for Arcane Vortex. Charles has already seen what Gallows can do. I don't think he wants to experience that again. So Charles is asking about sacrifice here and how it triggers. The top skin emotes has already taken 19. Or sorry, the Cage Ranger has taken 19. So he doesn't want to trigger that and fully heal all of the damage that he did this turn.
Of course.
So, and just kind of now that we're at the wider angle shot here, we can see that this Gremlin Swarm is also here. So Charles may have actually stopped the Gremlin Swarm from being able to contest both zones with these two Nomads. Like, I'm not sure he's going to fit right there. But even then, if he can apparate and then he can run, he might be able to get into both zones, even if this Gremlin Swarm and this Gremlin Swarm either dies or can't make it themselves. So this is an incredibly aggressive scenario play here. So it looks like both Skin and Moans and the Cage Rager, the front Cage Rager, this one right here, is all in the feet. So we got this one in the feet, this one in the feet, and then all of these guys right here. So that's actually a lot less than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was actually expecting much more.
So I think this Cage Rager here is going to be able to go there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get some apparitions. Jay just mentioned that. He's going to Serenity some focus or Fury off here. So I don't think Charles is actually going to score any points here, which I think is quite bad for him. I think he wants to be able to score at least 1 point here.
I think he really needs some points and focus on that scenario play. And if he's not going to get them, then we'll see what happens.
The Heretic list here is very well equipped to deal with a large number of boxes and a large amount of armor.
Oh, yeah, he's going to punch right through some stuff, isn't he?
So this freebooter, I don't expect him to make it through the
cast Fury.
The Heretic might just kill the freebooter. Like he himself,
yeah,
right?
I mean, that's absolutely. For a man with a sun stick, that guy can beat the snot out of something.
He can punch some people. So I'm going to guess that the freebooter there is not going to make it through the turn. This Southern Nomad right down here, he may make it, but I'm going to guess he is going to get Gremlin Swarmed pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Which he's not going to be happy about,
he's
right?
He's not going to like that.
So that's going to be 2d3
he's not gonna
plus
like
6
that
damage.
One bit, Pagani.
He'll get some mischief all up in him,
Mischief
which is not great.
All up in him.
There's no real magic weapons over here. I mean, if Charles took Arcane Wonder, but I'm pretty sure he took Supply Cache. This right here could give magic weapons. He may have done Arcane Wonder, though. Yeah, so those Gremlin Swarms can do some work. This Rattler can come over here. He can put in some damage. So I don't think this is exactly what Charles wanted. I don't think it's horrible for him. Like, I don't think this is game over by any means. This game is very young at the moment. There's a lot that's still going to happen here. But it's, I don't think, ideal for Charles's game plan. Jay has gone into the tank. How do I deal with
How do I deal with all this? I mean, what do you think his play should be here?
Well, I think
the apparition back, of course, right?
If they weren't even in the feed, actually, for either of them. Maybe this one was. I don't know if they said that. But if that one's in the feed, I would apparition it back. And then, or not, right? Like, well, no, you want to come back, and then you can run into this guy. He can apparition forward, get into that guy. But what I think is going to happen is this Skin and Moans is just going to come hang out right here. He's probably going to kill this guy. This little guy right here is probably going to die to that.
That Eliminator?
Yeah. And honestly, I think this is going to get ignored. I don't think there's any reason for Jay to go anywhere near that.
He's just going to ignore that for now?
Yeah. Like, what's great about this Heretic list is there's very few support models, right? So, like, it's Kravitz and, like, a Death Knell. Those are your support models. So, like, this Death Knell, it doesn't care about this at all, right? Like, it's armor 20. Hutchuck will walk up and do, like, 3 or 4 damage to it, and it just doesn't matter. Anastasia's POW 9, 8. Like, she can't hurt that thing either. And it'll take him 2 turns to get there. So if your Skin and Moans just, like, walks over here, hangs out here, you put a Krabbit next to it so that if this guy does come over and hits a Quake shot or something, it won't knock you down. You can shield guard it with a Krabbit.
Right.
So if he does manage to hit it in Magical Christmas Land, that's fine. That's fine. This Gremlin Swarm, it'll hold down this zone, which isn't honestly being threatened at all.
Looks like he's measuring that Skin and Moans.
This one here?
Yep.
Yeah. He's in the feed, so I don't know where he's going to go. But I guess the Skin and Moans can't even walk forward right now. So, like, this Gremlin Swarm needs to hold down to the zone, and then that Skin and Moans is probably just going to hang out where he is. But, I mean, I don't see this as being a great turn for Jay. Like, I don't think he's going to get a lot accomplished. But I think he is very fine just kind of taking this Nomad Alpha in the face, right?
It's kind of like accepting defeat, holding back, letting Charles score, get a couple points, and then just come in hard next turn, right?
Well, no, I think the Gremlin Swarms can stop him from scoring everything.
Sure.
So I don't think, well, yeah, so on Charles's turn, he'll score 1, maybe 2 points. Right. But I don't think, like, I don't think that's a game-winning turn for Charles. So I think Jay can basically just take the charge here and not worry about it. Make sure your Kravitz can shield guard any knockdown stuff. So you've got a Buccaneer back there that can knock down. You don't want that to happen. You want these Nomads that are mat 6 to have to roll to hit. Hudchuck, same idea. Don't let him knock you down. The Heretic can't be knocked down. So
I like what Charles is doing here with his.
Oh, it's beautiful.
His tokens.
He's re-racking for the next game.
Rack him up, boys.
Let's play some 8-ball.
Screw it, man. Let's go bowling.
Absolutely. So I'm going to guess that there's not a lot of action this turn from Jay. He's going to play conservatively. He's going to play.
He's a widget organizer. I love it.
He is. I like this. This is beautiful. This right here just takes my OCD and makes me happy.
Just
look at that.
Brings all sorts of comfort to your heart.
And the best part is those two widgets are probably made by different companies. So like that just so happened to work out perfectly.
Being handed a note. Affirmative. All right. What are we doing?
So Jay is a very pensive player. He takes a long time to think about his moves, and he makes sure that they're the right ones. This has caused him problems in the past with time.
Sure.
So he is certainly weighing his options pretty heavily at the moment. Look at that beautiful teal color there. Look at that beautiful teal color there that you didn't see. We're switching the cursor here to teal. I believe there are some people in chat that are having problems seeing the beautiful pink that we had. So we're going to change it on up for them. Here we go. We've got our first activations coming out of the turn here. Death Knell hopping on over. I think the goal of the Death Knell here is going to be able to keep everything in its range. We're not really doing anything too aggressive here. We're still counting Fury here. Jay's trying to figure out what to do with this freebooter here.
Someone in chat is asking me on how to paint a thorn of Everblight.
Beautiful.
Throne of Everblight, and I would recommend checking out Privateer Press Presents on YouTube and get your paint on every Thursday on Facebook Live, or check out the Ask the Studio thread on the official Privateer Press forums and ask me that question, and I'll give you all the answers you'll ever want and more.
He loves talking about painting.
I love talking about painting.
He loves it.
I mean, I'm talking about painting here in this game. Or come to Warmachine Weekend and just ask me in person. And heck, I might even paint on your Throne of Everblight.
So what I'm thinking here.
You know I have a tradition here at Warmachine Weekend?
Is it painting someone else's models?
I paint heart tattoos on people's models if they bring it up to me.
That's
little
awesome.
heart that says Mom. Yeah.
That's awesome. So here's a play I just thought of, is if this Krabbit right here hops over to here, whoop, he can do that through the feet because it's a place, not an advance.
He could do that.
And then
He's
Gallows.
just a little hippity hop away from that zone.
And you can Gallows. Here we go. Yeah, so this is actually happening. So this is great. So there's a Gallows being channeled through this Cage Rager right here.
To pull that freebooter in.
It'll pull him in because the Cage Rager can't go forward.
Right.
But this
Gallows is so good.
This is kind of the opposite of what we were talking about earlier, though. We talked about low-risk plays, right? Like, there's no problem with that first turn play. You got a free heavy out of it. It was great. You hit the 6. It's fantastic. If you roll the 1 here, it's very sad.
It's very sad. Very sad for the Heretic.
Yes. All right. So this Heretic's coming over here by Hutchuck,
Heretic's
apparently.
going over there. Heretic's just like, come at me, bro.
I mean, Heretic is very durable. Very, very durable. So now that we've pulled in this freebooter, this Skin and Bones is going to rotate in place. Not moving for the feet, of course. So they're coming in here. Looks like he's going to punch him.
Right in the back arc.
Punch him some freebooter. They're checking back arcs here. He does indeed have back arc.
There you go.
So here we go.
Skin and Bones, stabbing people in the back since 2017.
We need a heavy counter.
2016.
How many heavies will this specific Skin and Bones kill? Because if he kills this one, it'll be 2 already.
That's pretty good.
And it's turn 2. So if he kills one on every turn of the game, including turn 1, which I'm still impressed by the way, that will be awesome. And Jay is getting all sorts of work out of Gallows here. Oh, yeah, this freebooter's not going to make it, right? Yeah, look at that damage grade on Charles's War Room there.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep.
There's no way. Oh, he rolls an 11.
Woof.
Woofty. All right, so that's another heavy down, right? Charles is losing a lot of his hitting power very, very quickly. He's got
from
4.
One Skin and Bones. We're going to name that. That Skin and Bones needs a name.
Well, I have a beard and Moans because I took
you do have a beard and Moans.
Drago crotch tabard and put it on his face. I think he appreciated it personally.
I think he did. He was like, thanks, bro. I needed a crotch tabard on my face.
Yeah, that's where you put him, right? No? Oh, my mistake. Another painting question from chat here. We have one from Instant Classic.
Instant Classic. It's a classic.
It is a classic. It's like it's instantly Magnus 2's feet.
That's right. Instantly Magnus's 2 feet ask.
How did I get the shadow effect on my Skin and Bones? Honestly, it was a bunch of different inks.
Yeah.
So primed it white, did a lot of black and blue inks, and did some more dry brushing on there. Used the Armor Wash.
Yep.
Which has kind of that blue hue to it.
Yeah, it's got like slightly blue.
And then I ended up taking his weapons, repainting them white, and then doing my normal sort of glow effect on them with the green paints and stuff to create a little differentiation and pulling together of stuff. Quick and easy paint scheme. Love it. Yep. Looks beautiful. Just base it all up normal. It looks extra creepy because
yours looks yours looks good. Mine I went with a different route. I just used an airbrush.
Yes.
I was painting him black.
Yep.
Airbrushed a little highlight over his shadow, over his shoulders, and then just sprayed the center of him green.
Yeah, because you did like the sort of OSL kind of looking thing, right? The source lighting look. So, yeah, and there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And to me, it always looks best when it completely and utterly clashes with the basing of the model. So, like, you have your shadow guy.
Yeah.
It's all, like, wispy white and blue and stuff, and then your base just is normal. And it just looks really out of place, and I think that is perfect for that model.
Yeah, when I was doing mine, like the composition of the colors is always key, right? So I made sure the base was exactly like all the other bases. And then after the airbrushing, I went in with my brush and did some detail work. And as I went down the model, I did less and less work and just added more and more black. So he's blackest where his feet are touching the ground. So it makes it even more unnatural.
Love it. Love it.
Like an inky shadow creeping from between the crevices of reality.
The crevices of reality.
The crevasses of reality.
So we kind of talked about this, right? We've got one Gremlin Swarm here. We've got one Gremlin Swarm here. He's contesting all 3 of the zones. This Gremlin Swarm will need to be dealt with before these nomads activate.
Yep.
Or it's going to be real sad times.
Now, what would you try? What would he get over there to free up those nomads?
Well,
he's got an eliminator.
We could be wrong on the objective here. This could be Arcane Wonder. Give it magic weapons, run, walk, charge.
I feel like we need to find out what
what
their objectives were chosen.
Yes. We can hopefully figure that one out in just a moment here. But if that one is Arcane Wonder, this Gremlin Swarm won't be long for this world. But once again, it ties up these eliminators, right? Like, these guys got to deal with it. That's just a lot of commitment. And you know what they can't do? They can't do this guy and this guy. All right, so the objective is Arcane Wonder, so we will have magic weapons over here. But he can never deal with both these Gremlin Swarms with only the Arcane Wonder with these models.
All right, so we are right. This is he has Arcane Wonder.
Yes.
Charles has Arcane Wonder.
Yes. So, but he can only give magic weapons to one of these guys, not both. So he can only kill this Gremlin Swarm or this Gremlin Swarm.
I think the one blocking up the 2 nomads would be more important.
Absolutely. But what that means is that he's not going to score this zone.
He's not going to score the zone, but it does free up the nomads.
And remember, Charles's plan was to go for a very quick scenario victory here and push Jay out.
That's true.
And play entirely for scenario. So if he's not scoring these zones, that is really, really bad for his game.
It's quite the pickle.
Quite the pickle, indeed.
Quite the pickle. A spicy dill, even.
I do love pickles.
Oh, man.
I eat them on
you have pickle
almost
break,
a daily
like,
basis.
Daily, don't you?
Yeah. They're wonderful. They keep my sodium levels high.
More sodium in your diet. That's the key
what I always
to a
need.
healthy lifestyle, boys
Yes,
and girls.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I really like Jay's positioning here. We've got these Kravitz right here. They're blocking charges, right? Like something's got to kill those. What's awesome about this play is if he shoots this guy, Jay's probably just going to take it.
Yep.
He's going to take some damage
because he wants that guy to die. He's already taken damage.
Well, this is the damage one over here.
That's the damage one.
So if this guy walks over here, shoots him, this guy walks over here, shoots over here, he clears these Kravitz, he can play Sacrifice. Immediately fully heal both of these guys. And that's actually exactly what Charles is commenting on right now, is how to play around Sacrifice at the moment. So it's
a strong Arcana.
So Charles just repeated to himself, don't kill Kravitz, and don't get engaged by Kravitz, or the shadow pops out, right? So this is sort of the game that Grim can play. They just make it very difficult for your opponent to be able to execute their game plans without actually doing anything, right? Like Jay hasn't committed any resources to this. It's just puts this mental acrobatics on Charles here, where he has to keep all these things in mind and how he wants to play this game. We have a question from
Can we
chat.
go overhead on that?
For where the casters are located. If we pop into overhead here, we've got a Heretic right here, and we've got a Magnus right here.
Right on top of Charles's arm.
Right in there.
Heretic is nice and cozy right there behind that forest.
We got a forest.
He's got a Cage Rager hanging out by him.
He's not going anywhere. He's also got an Arcane Vortex. Not that I'm sure that's super relevant, but it's there.
It's there.
So the Heretic seems incredibly safe right now.
Magnus is in the zone.
Magnus is pretty far up there at the moment. I don't think Heretic really has great assassination runs, especially without Lord Longfellow in the list, because he's playing Dark Menagerie. It would certainly be a Gallows play here, but we've got Orin Midwinter standing right next to him with Arcane Vortex, so I don't see too much of that happening.
I love Orin Midwinter's model. That model's so dope.
Beautiful.
He's just a crazy, wacky Inquisitor wizard.
I also love
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. I love the old RPG model for him as well. The Van Oberen model.
Van Oberen, yep.
Spoiler alert, that's Orin Midwinter.
I think you just broke all the rules.
It's been 15 years. If they haven't figured it out yet. If you haven't played Witchfire Trilogy yet,
hashtag
you should. Hashtag it's been 15 years.
Hashtag no spoilers. Hashtag totally spoilers.
Dallas's eyes got all big when I said spoilers. You're like, yeah, I love that character in the Witchfire Trilogy and the new model.
Where it all began.
Charles is
Classic,
checking
one would say.
To see if Hutchuk can walk into Heretic's back arc, but you don't get backstrikes against the Heretic, so that doesn't seem super relevant. He also can't be knocked down. I guess he could get brain damaged. You could brain damage him.
He's got two faces. There's plenty of brain to damage.
It's true. Well,
3 faces.
I would say that your brain's probably not in your face.
What?
Like it's in your head.
Is that not how science works?
I don't think so. It's only like the front little bits, right? Sure. So he'll... So our stream mod here just changed it to round 4, which I am not sure is correct. I think it is round 3. But possibly we should check with the table here just to make sure. All right, we have confirmation. It is indeed round 3.
Round 3.
All right, our eliminators here are charging this objective. First one does 8 damage here.
How many boxes do these have?
15 each. Their armor 18, so 8 is a pretty good roll. Oh, wow.
There you go. Boom.
All right.
That's a point for Charles.
We'll pick up a control point. And sidestep back.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are not particularly high pow. I think they're 9 go to 11. So dice off 7? It's not super consistent for them to kill that thing.
Hashtag dice happens.
I mean, they certainly do. They certainly do. And, I mean, once again, going back, like, low-risk plays, right? Like, those eliminators weren't really going to do anything else.
No, that was
right?
perfect.
So if they can charge and kill that, great. Maybe Anastasia could have gone in and finished it off.
This is the exact opposite of my playstyle. My playstyle is all high-risk plays.
High risk? Hopefully they're high reward.
Low reward.
But sometimes...
I never win.
High risk, very low reward plays. The Dallas way.
Gremlin Swarm just went away?
Yep. So Iona gave Holt magic weapons, and then he took out the Gremlin Swarm there, and he put a couple damage on the Skin and Bones. As I discussed earlier, this little chip damage stuff on these heavies, honestly, it's quite irrelevant. None of this really matters because of sacrifice, right? So if you come in and you kill a heavy, the rest of them are going to fully heal. If you come in, you kill that Krabbit, the rest of them are going to fully heal. And maybe you can bait out the Arcana.
So what is the strategy there for somebody who's like watching this game? Like I'm like looking at this and I haven't played against this Arcana. Okay. So I don't quite like. What would be my strategy? Do I want to focus on just one guy and just put him totally down, and just do that over and over?
That is absolutely important. Yes.
Okay.
And one of the ways to do that, right, is to go after the stuff at the front. So he slammed this Cage Rager back into the Death Knell on the previous turn, and that was fine. Like, it's not a huge deal that he did that, but all of that damage, because he pushed it so far away, is probably going to end up not mattering.
Sure.
Because
so you really
something
just
is going to die
focus
before.
fire.
Yes. Jay is doing a great job of holding on to his Arcana here. One of the another one of these things that just Grimkin does is it makes people play a different game, right? So Jay holding onto these Arcana is sort of the mini game that he is playing with Charles, which is if I trigger Sacrifice right now, these Krabbits right here in the middle are no longer scary. You can kill them. You can walk up. You can kill my Cage Rager.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. But as long as he's sandbagging, playing these Arcanas, because he's killed models, right? Like he's killed this Gremlin Swarm, he's killed this Gremlin Swarm. He could totally play Sacrifice and fully heal all of his guys. But he loses the threat of the Arcana from these two Krabbits the second he does that, because you only play one Arcana per turn. So it's
up here comes some Chain Lightning from Orin
So we got the Chain Lightning here, which he's trying to arc into this Krabbit. So we'll see how that goes out. He does need a 7 to kill the Krabbit. Or to kill the Gremlin Swarm, I'm sorry. He got the 7.
There you go.
Looks like he even boosted it. All right, so there's 1 point secured for Charles.
Looks like he has
it actually looks like 2 points.
Gremlin Swarm left, correct?
Yes, it does look like there's one right back here. Actually, I think that's a Frightmare. I think that might be...
Oh, that's a Frightmare.
That's all the Gremlin Swarms, yeah. All of them are gone. So it does look like Charles will be scoring his 2 points this turn, so he's going to go up to 3. I think he is going to take an incredible hit back, and he's going to have to try and claw his way out on scenario. And I think this zone right here... Ooh, we're not on... This zone right here is going to be the one that does it. Depending on where this stuff ends up, the Skin and Bones is going to be in the zone. This Cage Rager might be in the zone. This guy might just run into the zone. I'm not even sure if he can make it. He's in rough terrain a little bit right there. This Frightmare probably ends up in the zone over here. This might be a Gremlin Swarm, actually.
Oh, that looks like a Gremlin Swarm.
But either way, like I think Charles is going to have a really hard time scoring his last point.
No, that's a Skin and Bones, buddy.
Oh, God, yeah, it is. I was just seeing his feet because the rest of it kind of bled into the horse of the Death Knell. So yeah, it's likely this Skin and Bones kills this Nomad. I want to see where these are going to go. This is sort of my question.
I love seeing all these heavies on the table. It looks so awesome.
Oh, yeah. I love the list diversity that we're getting right now, right? Like we have 4 heavy Grimkin versus 6 heavy Mercenaries. We have seen 55 infantry convergence lists. We've seen 8 or 10 light warjack convergence lists.
That's amazing.
We've seen double battle engine lists. We've seen, like, the variety in list building right now is probably the best it's ever been. It's crazy all the different things that we're seeing in these tournaments. And that just makes me really happy as a developer.
Makes me happy.
Like it just makes me feel like we're doing a good job. So
a fantastic job.
I hope so. I mean, we try. We try very hard.
Working hard every day, making games you play.
I mean, I'm working for the weekend.
No, absolutely.
So.
Oh.
Working for the
Barbecue weekends. That's all that matters.
We have to figure out a way to stop a pineapple from exploding when you put it on a grill.
Well, I've been working on some ideas.
Really
Let's not try to move it from one grill to another.
Yep. I will admit that the entire problem was user error. Okay, so it looks like the Buccaneer walked on up and knocked down that Skin and Moans, which is no good here. Ragman is going to pop on up.
Another model I just love.
He's got a little walking stick.
He does have a little walking stick.
It's sweet.
He's got a little burlap sack coat. It's probably real itchy. He probably hates it.
Probably.
That's why he's a Thamurite. He's like turned evil because no one will give him a comfy coat.
It's all patched together.
It's just itchy.
Okay, so this Nomad right here is walking up. His fist is punching this Krabbit, and then I think he's going to sword this Skin and Moans.
Sword this Skin and Moans?
The Skin and Moans got knocked down. I also talked a little bit earlier about how it was important to not get knocked doon by this Buccaneer. So this Krabbit probably should have been like a half an inch that way to be able to shield guard this shot.
Guard it.
But if I had to guess, this Skin and Moans is probably going to die. We don't have a whole lot of corpses on this Death Knell, so I don't think it's in range here. Oh, okay, so Jay's picking up Sacrifice here. And what that's going to do is it's going to fully heal this guy, fully heal this guy, and fully heal this guy.
I think Charles is probably okay with that at this stage, right?
Probably right, but as I was saying, like it made all this chip damage irrelevant.
Sure.
The other thought that I was going to talk about here is I think this could have also been a great play to play the Heretic's trump card Reckoning, right? Because this other Nomad, it's going to come in. I don't think it can get to this guy. He's probably too far. So if he's beating on this guy's armor 21. Nomads are power 18. You're not going to kill him. It's not going to happen. But then with Reckoning, right, like the Heretic could walk up and kill this guy. This guy could kill that one. This guy could kill the one that ends up over here. This guy could kill this guy. So you kill 4 heavies in one turn, right? Like that's so much value. Which you still might be able to do on this turn, but it just lets so much happen, right? And yeah, it looks like this Nomad is proxy based out to be right here for this charge.
I believe that's correct.
So I think Reckoning may have been the right one. I am interested to see how this sacrifice play works out. Yeah, and that'll be Fled an Arcana card. He no longer has to worry about not engaging stuff to trigger Shadow. That minigame is resolved for this turn. We're checking some melee range here.
Now, that's an interesting thing. Can, like, playing against Grimkin and that mini game of that, those 3 Arcana cards sitting over there tempting you, would it be as an opponent playing that game as well, trying to make them trigger those trump cards, those Arcana cards?
Yes. Yeah, so, yeah, it's that mini game where you're both playing the Arcana cards even though the Grimkin player picked them and chooses when to use them. You're constantly trying to bait them into playing the wrong one or playing it the least optimal way. So here we go. Here's a bunch of damage going on to this Cage Rager. But I will be, that's not even close to killing it, right? Your dice off 3. Honestly, that probably did way more damage than it should have. Even this second Nomad is probably not even going to kill it.
He's got 2 focus.
Right, yeah, he's only got 2. The other guy had 3. The other guy did less than half. He just did 6 to the 2, so that's pretty good. He rolled a 9.
Solid damage.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, so the Krabbit's gone now. He'll take the Fury. He's got 12 left. His last attack. All right, he had 12 left. He took 7 to the 1.
In 5 boxes. That's actually pretty good.
He's gonna hit. He needs an 8 to kill him here. So he does not get the kill here, which probably means that all 3 of those Nomads are dead. if I had to guess. Really, I think Jay could have been more aggressive on his first turn, and that would have really helped him out on the kill box turn, on Magnus's feed turn.
I mean, does Charles have any option here to even put those last 4 points of damage on that Cage Rager?
I don't think so. He's already used all of his shooting. All of his bot attacks are there. I think Iris is already gone even. Like, I don't think that Cage Rager is dying this turn.
Anastasia and a Chuck.
And, I mean, to talk about how horribly bad this game would have gone if Charles had not lost that heavy, he would have scored 3 points this turn. He would have scored all 3 zones.
Been pretty aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, because of that heavy dying at the top.
Because of that gallows.
Because of that gallows. He had no Warjacks that could get to that top zone.
There's Magnus moving.
Magnus is moving into the forest to make sure that he stays safe. He's staying 3 back from the edge there.
It's a classic move by Magnus.
Classic Magnus. Yep, so Charles is going to pick up 2 more points, going to 3 total. And Jay is going to get no points here. And there we go. Now we get to see how Jay does here. Charles has used a lot of time. We're on round 3.
Yeah.
And he's used almost 2/3 of his time already. So.
But this is I mean, Jay can get real aggressive here and just start wiping some heavies off the table.
I really think he can. I really think he can. Yep. So I think Jay is definitely on the back foot here. I think if he had played his Arcana a little better, maybe he could have got more work out of it.
Sure. You think he should have triggered Reckoning?
I think so. I think so. Because then I think you can do all sorts of stuff right now. I think if we could pop over to an overhead view here, I think we can talk about some interesting plays that could occur. Magnus is camping nothing, right? Like, he's completely naked.
No,
so,
he's on a hill, though.
No,
he's
that's
in
actually
forest.
a forest. Yeah, yeah. So he's in a forest, right? So if this Skin and Moans can go to here and kill this guy with Reckoning, right?
Sure.
So, like, if we triggered Reckoning here, this guy, when he walked up and killed this Skin and Moans, if we triggered Reckoning, this Cage Rager kills him. You swap Reckoning over to this guy. The Skin and Moan walks to here, kills him, easy peasy. You swap Reckoning to Magnus. This guy runs. You channel a Gallows, you pull him to here. That's a PAL 15 Gallows.
Woo!
It's PAL 15 Gallows, that's Rat 9. This guy walks to here, shoots Magnus.
That's an astute observation, Pagani.
Even if this guy died, right? Like, well, no. He was full, I'm pretty sure, going into this turn. So the sacrifice didn't help him at all. It only helped this guy and then the Kravitz that were here. And I guess this Rattler probably helped out. So I don't think sacrifice was the right play here. I think you got more aggressive and went for the win. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those measurements don't work out. This is the Frightmare has an 18-inch walking threat. That looks like plenty of room to me.
Sure.
This guy running, hell, if he's full health, you could even take a free strike. So I don't think. I don't know. How do I feel about this?
I mean, a Gallows is still an option.
Yeah, we also still have this Gremlin Swarm right here. We missed him. So he can just walk over to here, right? And then this zone will never get scored. That'll be no problem. Magnus, I guess, could try and drift something at him. If he's even got an AoE spell, I don't think he does. This Rattler is holding down this zone. So as far as this zone goes, I think the Rattler is going to get shot by this artillery crew next turn. And I think we're in the back arcs of these guys. So you won't be able to get much there. I don't know. Jay is, well, he's going to use Beatback very efficiently here, so that's good. So that guy might make it into the zone to contest the center zone. This is the make or break turn for Jay. If he can get enough work done here, he'll be back in the game. If he can't, Charles will just lock it up next turn with 2 points. All right, the players have agreed that they will not be able to get into the zone because it's going to bump against the Buccaneer.
I was curious. Magnus Warlord has obliteration.
Yeah, he does. So he could
that
obliterate.
That smells sweet.
He could obliterate that poor Gremlin Swarm.
Just kabang.
All right, so we didn't kill...
Kabang. I said that right, JR.
He didn't kill the Nomad there. He actually left right arm and Cortex, which is the only relevant systems on that model.
That's the only thing
so
that counts.
that is unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed.
Look at all that focus on the Heretic.
So one of the
Fury.
things... it's close enough. It's close enough. One of the things that I don't like about Jay's list, because I really like this list, I think it's as I said, there's very little support in it.
It looks awesome.
There's very little support in it, so it's all business models, right? Like every single model on the list does stuff, which is great. But what I don't like about it is you're missing things like Twilight Sisters that can heal your War Beast to put the aspects back on. So Heretic's going to have to spend 2 Fury on that. You're missing Carriona Rose, so these Cage Raiders are only PAL 17 and don't have great offensive stats. You're missing things... You're missing that sort of backup stuff. You don't have a great way to get corpses. You don't have any Dreadrots or anything. So you don't get a whole lot of those to power up your skin and bones from your death metal. So it's just one of those things. Looks like they're checking a kill box here. I could have sworn he measured it when he moved. They're checking it out here. If Jay isn't out of the kill box, Charles will have scored 2 CPs on his last turn. They were pausing the clock and checking the kill box with the judge.
Yeah. Calling the judge over.
And as Schick said earlier, you know it's serious because AK took his hat off.
He took his hat off. I saw that, yeah. That's a man who's ready to judge.
Oh, this is a real close one here.
That's by the hair of the Heretic's double-chinned chin.
All right. So the kill box scored 2 control points last turn.
Wow.
And lost it for Jay there. So Charles will pick up the win here.
That's it.
That is it.
That's it.
That is it. That is the scenario victory. Jay was just slightly too low there. Slightly too far back.
I was like, what? How much was that off?
Oh, I mean, maybe a 16th of an inch.
16th of an inch.
16th of an inch.
Wow.
Was all that it was. All that it was.
What a game.
What a game. I was excited to see how Jay possibly could have clawed back out of that one. But
I think he had a chance. Like I think he could have got real aggressive, punched in there.
Yep.
Put some real pressure on Magnus, the Warlord.
He probably could have disabled or killed all 3 of those Nomads.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're a 16th of an inch outside the kill box. And that's one of the things that I think Magnus does very well, is he applies an incredible amount of pressure onto your opponent. So Jay got pushed very, very hard by that Magnus list. He wasn't really able to advance on turn 2. He had to play safe on turn 3.
Right.
He ended up kill boxing, which is unfortunate. Unfortunate.
Kill box, classic move.
Classic move from
by Magnus the Warlord.
Excellent. Once again, we are here at Warmachine Weekend. That was the final game.
Final game
of the Champions event.
Champions.
Are we doing this?
What are we doing?
My name is Will Pagani.
And I'm Dallas Kemp.
And thank you for commentating with me, Dallas. It was.
Thank you.
It was cheers.
Cheers, guys.
We are going to be having some staff exhibition games coming on up here. We're going to have Doug Hamilton.
Doug Hamilton is going to face against
Tim Simpson, I believe.
Tim.
And then you're going to be playing some
I promise not to call him Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yep, fair enough. And then you're going to be playing Company of Iron later.
I'm going to be playing Company of Iron later, exhibition style.
Excellent. Stay tuned. Those will be starting shortly. Goodbye.
Bye.